Jean-Louis Rond d'Alembert once said, "Algebra is generous. She often gives more than is asked for." I will teach you how to solve basic algebra problems because I love algebra. Algebra is very important because it acts as a foundation into learning more advanced mathematics and other subjects. I first started learning algebra when I was in junior high and later in high school. I also took a college algebra course in high school. I will teach you how to solve linear problems and quadratic problems through factoring and the quadratic formula. I first teach you how to solve linear problems, which are equations that equations with one variable, with at least one variable, and when graphs leave a straight line. They're very simple to solve, and you can act as act as a starting point for learning more complex equations. For example, let's use 2x plus 3 equals 5. First, you subtract both sides with 3, leaving you 2x equals 2. Then you divide both sides with 2, leaving you the answer x equals 1. Now moving on from linear algebra linear equations to quadratic equations, which are more complicated than linear ones. Quadratic equations are equations that have at least one variable that is squared. They are more complex than linear equations, therefore require other means, usually through factoring. As an example, let's use x squared plus 3x plus 4 equals 2. First, subtract both sides with 2, giving you x squared plus 3x plus 2. And then you factor an equation using this diagram. You put the squared variable in the number with no variable on top, and the one with a single variable on the bottom. Then you factor both, and you factor the ones at the top, using multiples. See, for example, x times x equals squared, and 2 times 1 equals 2. Then you cross multiply these. For example, 2 times x would equal 2x, and x times 1 equals x. Then you add these together to get 3x, leaving you with x plus 1 times x plus 2 equals 0. Then you solve each equation to 0. You solve for each equation for 0, leaving you x equals 1 and x equals 2, x equals negative 1 and x equals negative 2 as the answers. When factoring can't be used on the quadratic equation, you use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b second minus 4 times a and c, and all divided by 2 times a. A, b, and c are the coefficients of the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c. For example, let's start with 3x squared plus 7x minus 11 equals 0. You simply plug in the coefficients into the equation, giving you negative 7 plus or minus 7 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 11, divided by 2 times 3. And you get the answer, negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 181 divided by 6. That is a rough look of how to solve basic algebra problems. I just taught you how to solve linear algebra and linear equations and quadratic equations using factoring and the quadratic formula. Remember, Algebra problems are very important because they act as a stepping stone for more advanced mathematics and other subjects. Thank you for listening, and good luck to you all.